all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and you're going to want to stick around because the third answer is a secret as to why most self-publishers who get going on Amazon Kindle experience unnecessarily a lot of anxiety. Now, let's get into it. The question that was sent in to me today was, what is the truth about Kindle publishing? Now, this is very easy to understand that when you first get started with something, there's a learning curve about all of the things we need to know and what you should be doing. And it creates a lot of anxiety. You wonder if you can actually even do the process. Can you figure out using the tools that you're going to use? And also, there's an awful lot of tools that you can possibly choose from when you're getting going on self-publishing. Or maybe you use no tools and your books are not optimized so they don't make any sales, or you're afraid that you're not going to make any sales. Does any of this sound a little bit familiar? And this is a little bit about when we get back to the truth behind Kindle publishing, that we clearly see that this is a challenge that many authors experience when you're getting started. And we're going to explore a little bit about some of these different truths behind self-publishing today. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and check out below in the description and grab a copy of my completely free self-publishing checklist that will make sure you're not skipping any of the important steps necessary to succeed at self-publishing. So let's get into it. When I first started self-publishing, I had high ambitions. I was thinking, wow, I think I can get a book out into the world, and was it even possible to do that? Well, I broke it down into the simple steps that I could find based upon the things that I had read, and I was ready to get my book out, was very excited, and then when I finally did get my book out onto the market, well, it didn't sell very many copies. But then the question is, why didn't it sell that many copies? I was feeling terrible. The level of anxiety was continuing to rise, and I was thinking, is this a failure? Is this, it's maybe embarrassing a little bit to put a book onto the market and not see the sales that you would like to be making off of that exact book. And that is something that many self-publishers experience. Maybe you've experienced that, either from the trying to make the book in the first place, the anxiety there, to finally getting it on the market and just not seeing the sales that you would like to see. That sense of failure deep down, and you're wondering, what exactly should we be doing, or did we do something wrong, or maybe we're just a failure? There's a lot of questions that start to go around in your head. Well, the thing is, I started taking different courses. I read books, I was reading blogs, I was in Facebook groups where they were discussing the different strategies, and I realized that I was breaking a lot of these very same strategies. Okay? I was not following some of the very clear rules. Now, it's not like Amazon and Kindle publishing are going to tell you what those rules are that you've been breaking. And so it's important to remember that you're going to want to be very, very careful in thinking that you can just throw anything out there and that people are going to buy it. Okay? That's not how it works. And so, but after taking these things, what happened is my sales started to go back up again. I started to see a rise in my sales, and I started to get that motivation again to produce the next book and the next book and the next book, until I had over 185 books on the market that are just continually pounding through sales here and there. And it's not the same book every day, but it's different books that are just hitting on the different markets in the different formats from a day-to-day basis. And it's absolutely, even today, it's amazing when you see and experience the feeling of seeing your books actually sell. It's one thing when you have no books on the market and feel the anxiety and that failure issue when you have nothing. But as you start to put those books on the market and start to follow the rules and optimize it, and that's the reason I like checklists myself, so that you're not skipping those important steps, that we're moving forward and we're putting them onto the market, and then we're finding our market, and those markets are buying and enjoying our books. So that was the thing I started to discover, and the idea that you could actually win this game of self-publishing without the stress. And that right there, my friends, made it all worth it. So let's get into today's answers to the question with Kindle publishing. The first thing is, it can greatly increase your anxiety if you're doing it all wrong. That's the first thing. And a very important point to remember is that if you're experiencing anxiety when we're doing something wrong. Okay? Now you might be wondering, what exactly is this thing that you're doing wrong? But you're always doing something wrong if we're experiencing a sense of anxiety that's associated with it. So we're going to need to focus in a little bit closer on that anxiety to figure out, what do we need to change in order to reduce it? The second thing is, most people, because of this anxiety and stress associated with the self-publishing process, they just quit and never get their very first book onto the market, right? And it's just one more failure, which establishes to them that maybe I'm just a failure. Maybe I don't have what it takes to succeed. I see these other authors succeeding, but I simply don't have what it takes. And this is some of the truths behind Kindle publishing for many authors. But let's get into the secret answer of the day, and it is that mindset is the key to winning here. And anything that's worth having will mean getting deep into two things: the theory, that is figuring out, understanding the strategies and principles behind what is necessary to win at this thing that we're working on when it comes to Kindle publishing. Those skills and strategies that will ensure that we get our book onto the market, and also what it takes to help it sell. But then the second aspect that many Kindle publishers fail to do, it is the practice. In other words, taking those very strategies and the theory and putting it into action. Execution. And for most people, it's one or the other. That's the problem. You put too much focus on one and you neglect the other, and that results in your failure. And that is something that leaves you feeling maybe you don't have what it takes. But that, my friends, is a complete lie. You of course have what it takes. You just need to follow the correct strategies in order to succeed and execute on a daily basis. So what is the reality of Kindle publishing these days? What have you found? If you've experienced that anxiety that I've been talking about, write the word yes below in the comments. And if you have not, write the word no. I would love to hear from you so I know whether or not I'm hitting on something that you yourself are experiencing with your self-publishing. And check up above me here for more answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.